Morning. Do you remember our two characters from the last couple of weeks? The first week, we learnt about Moses, who stood before the burning bush, and God gave him a very special job, that he had to go and speak with the ruler of Egypt and say, please let my people go. And that ruler we learnt about last week was called Pharaoh. And he didn't want the Israelites, God's people, to go because they were very useful to him. They were slaves and they were helping him out. But although he said no on several occasions, eventually God's people were able to go. And they crossed those big waters called the Red Sea and were on their journey towards the Promised Land. Now Moses had a brother and a sister, much like you and I probably have some siblings. And his sister Miriam was so excited when they crossed the Red Sea that she did a special song and a dance to say thank you to God for all the amazing things that he had done for them and how he'd led them out of Egypt. And Moses had a brother too, and his name was Aaron, and he's our big Bible character today. Now they worked as a team together, didn't always get it right, like we don't, but let's hear about the story now. God led his people through the desert, and sometimes they'd camp and then move on. Soon the food ran out and the people were grumbling. Why didn't you just leave us in Egypt? At least we had food there. God heard, and he said, don't worry, I'll give you food. And a little flock of birds flew in and they were fed. Next morning the ground was covered with frosty white flakes called manna, and Aaron put these in a jar. Every day he provided for his people. God eventually called Moses up a mountain to give him the 10 Commandments, or the 10 rules, that would show the Israelites how they should live and how they would be close to God. They showed them how to live the best life. Aaron worked with his brother Moses to speak on behalf of God. He looked after the Israelites and was given the job of high priest, so he was in charge of everything to do with God, and he helped the people to keep their promises to love God. He didn't always get it right, but God knew that Moses, Aaron and the Israelites couldn't keep the rules all the time, and so he sent Jesus. Do we remember to say thank you to God for all we have and ask God to help us to obey him?